Howdy y'all, it's Reese, aka Bearman Prime on this March the 18th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. Card in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, and please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell for me if you would. So yesterday we saw Ruth meet up with Boaz on the threshing floor after the big harvest, and has indicated to Boaz that she would like to marry him. She is open to marrying him. And so now we're going to see the conclusion of this story in Ruth chapter 4 today. So let's go to Ruth chapter 4, starting in verse 1. Boaz went to the place where people gathered near the city gates. He sat there until the close relative he had told Ruth about passed by. Boaz called to him, "Come and sit here, friend." Boaz also gathered 10 of the elders of the city. He told them, "Sit here." So they sat down. Then Boaz spoke to Naomi's close relative. He said, "Naomi came back from the hill country of Moab. She wants to sell the land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. I decided to tell you about this in front of the people living here and in front of the elders of our people. If you want to pay the widow for the land and keep it in the family, then pay her for it. If you don't want to buy the land, tell me, because I am the next one in the family who has the right to buy it. If you don't buy the land from her, I will." Naomi's closest relative said, "I will buy the land from her." Then Boaz said, "If you buy the land from her, you must also marry the dead man's wife, Ruth, the Moabite woman. Then the first child will get the land, and it will stay in the dead man's family." Then the close relative answered, "Well, then I cannot buy the land. If I do, I might lose my own land. So I cannot do it. You buy the land." Then he gave Boaz something to show that he was serious. During that time in Israel, when people bought property, one person took off a sandal and gave it to the other person. This was like signing an agreement. So when the close relative said to Boaz, "You buy the land," he took off his sandal and gave it to Boaz. Then Boaz said to the elders and all the people, "You are witnesses today that I am buying from Naomi everything that belonged to Elimelech, Chilion, and Mahlon. I also take Ruth to be my wife. Then the dead man's property will continue to belong to his family, and he will always be remembered by his family and the people who in his hometown. You are all witnesses of what I am doing today." So all the elders and the people who were near the city gates said, "We are witnesses to all of this, and may the Lord bless this woman who is coming into your home to be like Rachel and Leah. They are the ones who had many children to make the people of Israel strong. And may you become powerful in the tribe of Ephrathah and famous in Bethlehem. May the Lord bless you with many children through Ruth. May your family become great, like the family of Perez, the son of Tamar, bore for Judah." So Boaz married Ruth. The Lord allowed Ruth to become pregnant, and she had a son. The women there said to Naomi, "Praise the Lord who gave you this child. May he become famous in Israel. He will make you alive again and care for you in your old age. Your daughter-in-law made it happen because she bore this child for you. She loves you, and she is better for you than 7 sons." Naomi took the boy, held him in her arms, and cared for him. The neighbors gave the boy his name. These women said, "Naomi has a son now." They named him Obed. Obed was the father of Jesse, and Jesse was the father of David. Verse 18. This is the family history of Perez. Perez was the father of Hezron. Hezron was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon. Nahshon was the father of Salmon. Salmon was the father of Boaz. Boaz was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jesse. Jesse was the father of David. All right, so a couple things. First, we see that Boaz is a man of his word, and he is very forthcoming and upright in the community. He wanted to make sure that he did everything by the book and make sure it was all above board. That's why he found the relative in public. He gathered the elders so that everyone could be witness to what was happening, witness that he was coming into this agreement. The relative had the right to buy all the property that belonged to the dead man, Elimelech, and his sons. So he had first dibs on it. And he would have, but then he had to marry Ruth, and he wasn't willing to do that. So that left it to Boaz, and Boaz, you know, took it up on himself to buy the land, to buy the property, and he married Ruth. And then the second thing is we see the importance of Boaz and Ruth because, as we saw, Obed was the father of Jesse, and Jesse will be the father of David. Very important person. David, the king of Israel, man after God's own heart. And we will learn more about him coming up in the next few days. So you see how God blesses kind acts and people who show kindness to others. Ruth really didn't have to stay committed to Naomi. She could have gone back to Moab and been with her own people, started over, but she remained loyal and loving and true to Naomi. She stuck by her, loved her so much that she pushed everything aside, everything she knew for her, came to Israel, and she worked and worked and worked, and she was recognized by Boaz, who saw her kindness and her love and reciprocated that with his own kindness and love. So we see how God rewards kind acts like that. And Ruth's reward, as we can see, is being able to marry into the line of the kings of Israel and, of course, the earthly line of Jesus Christ. All right, so that's all for today. That finishes up the book of Ruth. So tomorrow we will begin the next book of 1 Samuel. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Bye.